All right, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Kohaloyim, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash, all praises and glory and honor is due. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders also for giving me this truth, a great millstone. All right, who will rule with honor and diligence. And I want to say peace and salutation to our Yuakim out there, lifting up that banner, all right, upon the four corners of the earth, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, with truth and sincerity in your hearts for love of the gospel. All right, now I'm Brother Shamaria of Gary Millstone, Indiana, coming at you for another lesson. And this lesson is going to be about the Nephilum. All right, break it down the Nephilum. Now, the world calls the Nephilum when giants dwell upon the earth. All right, being men of great stature, like tall as trees. All right, when that's false, they call them the fallen angels. That's another name for them. And all of this is doctrine of men. But I'm gonna shed some light on this, because this breakdown was taught to me, and here I am teaching it to whoever's viewing, to the flock. All right. Now, without further ado, here it is. It's Genesis 6 verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. All right, it says men, but back then you had three classes of men. You had the sons of God, you had the sons of men, and you have the sons of the wicked. All right, now we can all see in today's time after the flood, all right, after Noah resurfaced and repopulated the earth, well, after Noah's sons repopulated the earth, the sons of God will be considered the Israelites. All right, the sons of men will be considered the other nations, all right, the heathen nations. The sons of the wicked will be considered Esau, Edom. You understand? Esau, Edom will be considered the sons of the wicked. But back then, you didn't have an Israelite, all right, or a Hamite. You didn't have those tribes. You just had the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. You know. So with that being said, it says when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, all right, the heathens, those will be called the heathens. It says the daughters were born unto them. Verse 2. That the sons of Yahweh saw the daughters of men, and they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. So the sons of God took wives of the heathen women. All right. It says, verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. All right. So that lets you know that something happened when they did that. The Lord punished them, all right, because He said there, "My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he that is for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years." All right, now you read a chapter before that, and people was living to be 900 years old, 800 years old. All right, so the Lord punished the sons of God for that. That lets you know that something bad happened. All right. And I want to precept that with if I go to the book of Deuteronomy 7 and the first two. Uh the second verse. Deuteronomy 7 and 2. I believe. Excuse me. Yeah, 7 and 2. It says, and when the Lord thine God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Now, if you go to the first verse, I'm gonna just read it. When the Lord thine God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, and all of these nations are under the nation of Ham. These would be the so-called Africans today. All right, so these are heathen men. These are sons of men. These would be considered sons of men before the flood happened. All right, and this is Moses speaking. This is in the law, verse 2. It says, "Then the Lord thine God shall deliver them before thee. Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. All right. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thine daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thine son." All right. So that's the point. We should not make marriages with these other nations, man. When you read in the book of Second Kings, all right, when King Solomon had, what was it, 400 wives and 600 concubines, he started to wife those concubines, man. He started to his heart clave into those heathen women, and those heathen women got Solomon to worship them other gods, man. All right. Now I'm not gonna get it. It's in the book of Kings. You know, if you're curious about it, you can read about how Solomon worshipped, built high places for those heathen women idols. All right. That's why the Lord said He don't want you dealing with these heathen women. If you're gonna marry a woman, marry your own kind. But if you're gonna just have them as slaves, bed wenches, if you would, all right, concubines, sex slaves, then you would do that with them. But you don't wife them. You don't love them. All right. You don't. Your heart don't cleave into them. You understand? But going back, that was the point. Just to prove to you that we're not supposed to be taking the heathen women to wife. All right. Now we can have them as concubines. That's different. You know, a concubine is nothing but a maid, a slave, if you will, a slave, an employee, a maid. It's all the same thing. It means the same thing. All right, it's a servant, a female heathen servant. You know, but verse 3, it says, "The Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years." There, verse 4. Now this is where they get the Nephilim from. All right, it says, "Now there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown." All right, and that's the point, because they say that the sons of God had the babes with the daughters of men, and they got these giants. All right, hundreds and hundreds of feet tall men. All right, but that's not the case. You had men that were really tall in the ancient world, taller than most, but they were never like tall as trees, and you know they were never giants. They were big men, bigger than most, but they were never like David and Goliath. David and Goliath was considered a giant, but he wasn't the size of a 2 and 3 stories high. You understand? He wasn't 2 and 3 stories tall. You know, but of course the human body was much much bigger back then. But he wasn't. He wasn't. You understand? You get what I'm saying? He wasn't big as a fucking ship. You understand? That's what they try to make the Nephilim as. These huge men, hundreds and hundreds of feet tall. You understand? It actually tells you how tall David was. Not David. I'm sorry, Goliath. It actually tells you how tall Goliath was before he fought David. But moving on, it says, "And there were giants in the earth in those days, and also that when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown." All right, now, if you go into that word, it's important to go up into words, because when the scriptures were written, it wasn't written in English. You have to go back to the original text. And what's the meaning of that original text? All right. So I have the original text here, which in the Hebrew it says Nepal. All right. It says Nephili, but it's pronounced Nepal. It says giants, the Nephilim. All right. Go into it down to the Strong's definition. Strong's H5307, properly a feller, that is a bully or tyrant, giant. All right, but you click on that Strong's 5307, it says to fall, to lie, to be cast down, to fall. And that's the Hebrew word Nepal. All right. So it means to fall, to lie down, to be cast down, to fall. So you fell, to fall away. You go down to the Strong's primitive root, to fall. It basically means to fall or to be cast down. All right. To fall. To fall from what? To fall from anything. But they fell from their fame. Because when you go into that word at the bottom, renown, renown means name, reputation, fame, glory. All right. You have to go into these words to get the proper understanding, edification. It says there were giants in the earth in those days. Giants meaning what? To fall. You understand? That word Nephilum means to fall. It says, and after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bare them children, and the same became mighty men of old, men of renown. So they became famous. They made a name for themselves. All right, they made a name for them. So that when it says giant, it's talking about their name, reputation. They're famous. All right, because today's society has a phrase. Oh, I want to make a name for myself. I got to make a name for myself. So I got to let people know, who I am. They want a reputation. You understand? And let me get some precepts on this, man. Just gonna get a couple of precepts, man. I'm not gonna make this video too long. It's not really a big, deep breakdown, but just getting some precepts to prove that it was giants. This giants right here is talking about men of renown that fell from their reputation, from their strength. From there, Baruch 3:27. Let me get Baruch 3:27 says what? Those did, it says, all right, 3:26, Slakia. Baruch 3:26. It says, there were the giants famous from the beginning, that were of so great stature and so expert in war. All right, so they were great in stature, so they were big, they were actually tall. But it says there were the giants famous from the beginning. All right, so those giants were famous. All right, let me get another one. Sirach 16:7. Sirach 16 verse 7. And this reads, he was not pacified toward the old giants that fell away in their strength for their foolishness. Their foolishness being what? Wiving or having children with those heathens, wifing those heathens, man, falling in love with them. Because after you fall in love with the heathen woman, you start to worship their gods. The foolishness of those giants, which were the sons of God. All right, that's why they call them the fallen angels, because they believe, Slakia. It's kind of raining out here. I hope it's not interfering with the sound. But anyway, they call them the sons of God, man. I mean, they call them the fallen angels, man. But the real fallen angels are the prophets, man. The prophets of the Lord are the true fallen angels, the ones that are in these bodies today. Now I'm gonna get a precept proving that this word giants, it means what? Nephilum. Damn. It's coming down. But this word giants means Nephilum. Alright? But when you get Deuteronomy 2:11, Deuteronomy 2 and 11, which also were accounted giants as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Eums. Okay, verse 10. Slakia. Deuteronomy 2 and 10. The Eums dwelt therein in times past, a people great and mighty and tall as the Anakims, which also were accounted giants as Anakims, but the Moabites called them Eums. Now, that word giant is a different word in the Hebrew. When you go into the Hebrew, it's a whole different word. All right? This word actually means great old tribe of giants, meaning great tall men. Go down to the Strong's definition, H7495. All right, that doesn't apply. All right. But this word means actual big people. See, it's a different word in the Hebrew in the book of Genesis 6. All right. Now that's it for that lesson. You know, that's it for this lesson. But Lord willing, I do a part 2 to this on the fallen angels, man, because they call those giants the fallen angels. But this is just cutting that Genesis 6 and 1 through 5, saying that those giants were the Nephilim, man. That word giant means famous. And I just got you precepts, and I just got you another word in Deuteronomy 2 and 10. Same word in the English, but it's different words in the Hebrew that has different meanings. All right. Lord willing, I do a part 2 to this. But until next time, I'll say shalom.